those days, the train compartments in the British days, there used to be a little alcove at the end of the compartment for the servants. The servants never sat with their masters, you know. The British had their servants, and they would usually sit. That was their place. That was their place. So the ayahs and the servants and the coolies and whoever had been sat there. That was the alcove that was arranged for them. Now it was empty. So as soon as the men said, "Oh, all right," hurriedly Erich got Baba and the others. They just got on the train, and barely had they got on and sat in that alcove where the servants sit. Baba sat, and the two Mandlis sat, and the train started right away. Now, at one point, what had happened was that coming via Pune or going via Ahmednagar, I forget. But when the train stopped, Baba lovers would always flock, you know. Wherever Baba would be there, see him, just look at him, have darshan, wave. So there was Erich's family, Erich's aunt, I think it must have been Nagar, because Pune they would have been. Aunt, Gulamasi, Banmasi, some of the aunts were there. And they carried a big tin of sweets, homemade sweets. It would help Baba, you know, this is his nourishment, right? So they went to the station, and now there's barely any time at the station, and they're seeing Baba, and Erich is being given this tin is being pushed at him, you know. And he said, "What is this? Why do you burden us with things like that? Don't you know we have to be going on a bus tour? This is not a picnic. Not to run. All the things I have to carry, do you think I've got to carry this tin to?" Anyway, he would push it, they would push it back. Yes. What is this tin? At last the tin stayed on. Anyway, there it was. The train started going. The women won. So after a while, but everything was fine. Those people didn't even notice Baba and the others. You know. Baba was in a sadra, plain white sadra. And at the next station, some more military people with guns and clankings of the paraphernalia, and they come marching up with those heavy boots and try to get in. And for some reason, the ones inside said, "No, you can't come in. We're already crowded. We're already cramped. What do you want to do, sit on our laps? Get out." So what do you mean? If you're military, we're military, aren't we? It's the same thing. Who are you to tell us not to? And before he knew it, it was becoming a hot thing. But at last, those pushed themselves into the compartment and shut themselves. And hardly had they come in, then the train started moving, and then quickly picking up speed. And here it was in the middle of nowhere, in a speeding train, and these two, the army people, the two batches of army personnel, were fighting with each other. First it was words, and it was louder words, and then he said, get, and then they stood up and said, daring each other, and it was, now, Erich said, "Oh my God, here we're with Baba, whom we always try and protect, and, his person, and he doesn't, and in this, racing train with these people that are on the warpath and shouting and swearing at each other, and they were about to use the butts of their guns to hit each other, bash the heads of each other, and suddenly they heard a clap. I mean, there's the sound of the train, the wheels whirring, the men shouting, abusing. In the midst of that, as always, Baba's clap cuts through. We've noticed that again and again, no matter what the noise, no matter how much the sound, whatever is, when Baba clapped, everything was stopped. And that's what happened with these men, with guns and going to fight in that mood, and they stopped. And just I suppose, tableau before hitting somebody on the head, they stopped, and they turned around to where the sound came from. And they couldn't believe what they saw. It seemed a figure from heaven floating in the air, because Baba stood up on the bench of his alcove. Instead of sitting, he climbed up, and he was standing there in that sort of a grotto alcove with his hands spread out in a white sadra, and after it clapped and they all looked at him, he said, "Sit down." And Erich spoke for Baba, but not once did they look at Erich. Looked at, and Baba said, sit down, Erich's voice. And they sat down. Clank, 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 clank. And they sat down. And then Erich says, Baba gave a discourse that was so beautiful, a little discourse. You know, here you are brothers, you're fighting for the same cause for your country. And if you fight among yourself, what chance has your country got? Or your duty is there's a responsibility rather. Then they said, and Baba said, now calm down. You be together as the brothers that you are, and at the next station, you'll each have a hot cup of tea and sweets. And Erich said afterwards, I don't know how Baba remembered that tin of sweets. He didn't even know. As far as Erich was concerned, Baba didn't know there was a tin of sweets. They were haggling about this. So they all sat down. Oh, they were very happy. They were going to get cups of tea. About, like 200 cups of tea would have been. So Baba told Erich, now you go and order. And then Baba sat down. They're all sitting down. Go and order the cups of tea for them. And when the tea came at the next station, Baba rolled up his sleeves and with his own hand gave the sweets to each of the soldiers outside. And they were so happy. Oh, there was such a jolly mood. You know how it is when your stomach is full. And when at the end when they left the train, when their station arrived, when they reached their destination, they all got down from the train. And as Baba's train was passing by, all were saluting him, because when they went down, they were singing the national anthem together. And then Baba stood at the window of the train, and so they were all saluting Baba, here. And I just love that story. But you see, they were so helpless. What could Erich and Pendu and they do? What could they do against so many of them in military thing, with guns and everything? What do you do? And this madly racing train in the middle of nowhere, what could they couldn't even get it. Baba did it, just silent.